Alright, this is going to be my recording of a Pokemon Platinum Map Randomizer for whatever event I decide to submit this to. So I'm gonna start explaining things as I start the run, so 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Pokemon Platinum, and it's just another standard entry in the Pokemon series. However, we are not going to be playing normal Pokemon Platinum. We are going to be playing a map randomizer. So what that entails is every warp in the game, or basically every warp in the game, does not go to the place it normally does. So what is a warp, you may ask? That is basically any house, any building, any gym, anything like that does not lead to where you think it would. Real quick, I'm going to explain why I'm being the girl. The girl is slightly faster for an event or a cutscene where you learn how to catch Pokemon. The girl is slightly faster. I name myself one character to minimize text, and I pick the shortest rival name rather than intentionally putting in a name, because the times it does come up, his name comes up, having those shorter characters is faster, but going into the nickname menu and selecting one character is slower in total. So, real quick, I'm just going to change my settings. So fast text, no battle animations, using L equals A to give myself a second mashing button. In set mode, just because when I have more Pokemon in my party, I don't want to have to deal with being asked every single time, hey, do you want to switch your Pokemon? So, stuff like that. Anyway, getting back into the meat and potatoes of this round. So, all the warps are randomized. So, or basically all of them. So, the biggest example of that not being the case is Twinleaf, which is the starting town, where because of all the stuff you have to do in the beginning, it being, the introduction, all of the houses behave as you think they will, so first couple of minutes of this are going to be fairly standard, where we're just getting through the initial dialogue, eventually going to be able to grab our first Pokemon, and nothing really too crazy happening so far, but you'll see very quickly what this turns into. So, the objective of a standard Pokemon speedrun, generally speaking, is start the game, beat the champion. And, some games have their standard any percent versus any percent glitchless, where any percent you can maybe skip some gyms, skip maybe the entire game, or maybe only skip small portions. For this, we're going along with the standard any percent glitchless rules, where we're not able to do a technique called tweaking, or really any glitch in this game, but the big one is tweaking, where you can use your bike to unload certain parts of the map, and that does come in handy in a couple instances in a map randomizer, where something that would normally be a direct tunnel from one part of the map to another is actually completely randomized, so you actually can't do that, so you need to use a tweak to kind of skip through that, but we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be dealing with whatever the game gives us. And I'll explain the objectives shortly enough, but first off, we're going to be picking our Pokemon. In Platinum any percent glitchless, Chimchar and Piplup are both very good, and you can kind of pick your poison on which one you want. But in this run, because it's a map randomizer, it doesn't super matter which one you pick, because all of them have their own merit. But I will be picking Turtwig for this run. You could have an incentive to pick the starter, something like that, where you leave it up to fate. for what people want to see, but because each one of them has their own pros and cons. I go with Turtwig because that gives the rival Chimchar / Monferno and Infernape. And you'll see later why that matters and why that's helpful. But the main reason is an alt main that we catch. So basically just a different Mon. The different Mon is able to beat Infernape much easier, so that makes beating a couple rival battles a lot easier. And being able to do those fights easier is obviously preferable and faster. And besides that, Turtwig doesn't really get a whole lot of usage in this run, which is part of the reason why you're not going to really see him. He's primarily used as an HM friend, where we just give Turtwig a bunch of HMs to get around, and that's really about it. But we'll be seeing our Altmons shortly enough, hopefully. And because Turtwig and Chimchar learn the same HMs, it doesn't matter which one between the two of those you pick. And then Piplup learns a completely different set of HMs, which primarily the water-based ones, but that doesn't really help in this run because of just, you know, the nature of a map randomizer. Like, there's not really a whole lot of things that require surf and waterfall when you have a map randomizer. So real quick, we're gonna go over to Lake Verity to trigger a cutscene. So this warp behaves the same for this cutscene because of intro gameplay. But this actually is a randomized warp after this cutscene is done. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to save the game because I don't want to get stuck somewhere that I don't want to be. And we're going to see where this takes us. So this will be the first major thing we check, but after this, depending on what we get, we're probably going to move on with standard game progression for a little while. Because we want to get Pokeballs as soon as possible, because we do not want to use Turtwig, because Turtwig is not very good. Unfortunately, saving is generally pretty slow, so we want to minimize it as much as possible, but generally my rule of thumb is if I make some sort of major progression, like I get an HM, I get a new Pokemon, I get a badge, something like that, I then save to make sure I don't, like, screw myself over for later in the run. Need to do something real quick. I need to get my tracker up. Alright, so this first warp takes us to... that's Registeel, which isn't super useful. It's a good thing to check. So that's an example of what this map randomizer is, where that's not where that's supposed to take you. But unfortunately, that is a dead end. So that isn't super helpful for us. And I might be thinking, oh, aren't you catching the legendary? Isn't that super useful? And there are some legendaries that are useful. Primarily Dialga Palkia. And we'll hopefully be seeing them later in the run, but if we don't, that's also fine. But legendaries are, as you'd expect, very hard to catch. And we don't want to waste our time trying to catch something like that, unless we deem it worth our time. The Regis are only level, I believe, 30. And that's not very high, because ideally we catch a Mon that's like level 50 or level 60, something like that, something really high. And we just use that to be able to sweep through anything that's considered early game, so any of the earlier towns and such. Which is also why Turtwig isn't very good. I'm not nicknaming Turtwig because I'm not going to be using it for very long, so I don't want to have to open that menu. But I will be nicknaming whatever Altmons I find. And to be clear, the reason why we want the level 50 is because it's a map randomizer. If we get thrown into an area with level 50 mons, obviously our level 6 Turtwig isn't going to be able to fight anything there. So we want to be able to go somewhere, get a high-level mon, and then be able to use that as our main. And you might be thinking, oh, what about the badges? Aren't you able to use... You're not supposed to be able to use a high-level Pokemon like that, right? And that rule only applies for mons that aren't... where you are not the original trainer. So, if I get traded, for example, a level even 20, just anything, right now I wouldn't be able to use it effectively. But if I'm the person that catches, say, a level 80 Arceus, for example, because that is something we can get, if I go and catch that, I can use it completely fine. Because I caught it. So, anything like that will obey us just fine. So, we're finishing up the intro progression right now. And real quick, also Lucas tells us to go heal at the Pokemon Center, but it may or may not actually be a Pokemon Center. So real quick, I'm going to run back home, talk to Mom, and I'm going to get some Pokeballs. So you think, oh, go to the mart. Reminder that this is a map rando, so anything you might think of, oh, just heal at the center, oh, go to the mart and grab something. Just remember that that isn't necessarily going to be the case. So these 5 Pokeballs that Lucas gives us are extremely, extremely valuable. Because we want to be able to just throw a ball and just get a mon instantly. And this is something that we will be resetting over, where if I don't get an alt mon within like a couple Pokeballs, I want to reset, because I don't know when the next time I'll be able to get Pokeballs is. So I want to be very, I want to use them very sparingly. And also later in the run, we will hopefully be finding Quick Balls, which will make a bunch of different captures much easier. Really, any capture easier. But running back to grab Pokeballs right now. And I won't be checking any of the Sand Gem warps until I get those Pokeballs, and I'll also be saving the game because those are very, very valuable to have. Yeah, so Sand Gem Town has 4 different warps. So we'll be able to either check all of the warps in Sand Gem, or one of them will take us to a different city, and then we can explore that city. So it kind of all depends on what you get, and sort of what you're feeling as well. Because I could find, say, Veilstone City from Sand Gem, but I might say, let me check the other warps in Sand Gem real quick before I go to Veilstone. Or I might find Veilstone and say, oh, that's a really big city, I want to get all those quickly. So right now we're just watching the catching tutorial, nothing too exciting. The only thing that is the fact that we will be getting Pokeballs shortly enough. So we will wait for that to happen. And while we're waiting for that, I think I can try to now explain what the progression of this run is. So I mentioned earlier that the objective is you start the game, try to beat the champion. And in this run, you can just find the champion, like, in the first house. Like, that happens. So if you happen to find the champion and then Dialga Palkia, you catch one of them and then you go right to the champion and win. Like, that's not super interesting. So for this run, the objective is to go to all 8 gyms, beat them in order, if possible, and then do the Elite Four, then get the champion. So now I have Pokeballs. I'm going to save, and I'll start checking Sand Gem warps. So, I put an emphasis on if possible because the logic for this randomizer sometimes doesn't work out too favorably, so sometimes you have something that's just completely blocked, but we're going to try our best. Okay, so we already have access to Eterna City, which is very good. I'm actually going to quickly grab cuts and trigger these cutscenes, just so I have them, so I don't have to think about them later. So I'll run up here, talk to Barry, will drag me over here, a little bit of a cutscene. I'll run over, and then I'll be able to talk to Cynthia to grab Cut. I won't be able to use Cut yet because I don't have the second badge, but I at least have the HM already. So I don't have to worry about doing that later in the run. I just have it right out the gate. Yeah, and Eterna City, for example, like, this house right here has a warp. The Galactic Building right there has a warp, but it requires Cut, unless you happen to find it from the other side. And if you find it from the other side, then you know that that's effectively a ticket to Eterna, assuming you're able to use Cut. So some of these warps aren't super useful right now, but some of them will be useful later on in the run, possibly, depending on what you get. So the objective is to do the gyms in order, and unfortunately that sometimes means Gym 1 is the last one, so you're just kind of stuck doing a bunch of other random things. I'm not going to explore Eterna right now. I think I want to finish Sand Gem first, because I'm here, and I don't want to have to think about this later in the run. I'm saving because I got Cut. So this is a tunnel to nothing useful. So a big part of this run is being able to identify what is or isn't useful. So I was able to recognize that building as a complete dead end. So I know to not bother checking that Poké Center later in the run. So now I have Solaceon Ruins, so this opens up like 3 more warps. This is a really good warp to find. So in Sunnyshore, that gym is blocked by story progression. But because I found the other side of that warp, I don't need to worry about explicitly finding the Volkner event, which allows you to access that. I'm just double checking this warp. So this leads to the Poké Center in Sand Gem. And specifically the right side. And that's Gym 4. So already finding a gym is pretty cool. And specifically that Gym 4 is awesome because once I can beat Gym 4, I'll be able to start using Fly, which is extremely useful for the run. And now I have a Mount Coronet Summit exterior. So already finding quite a number of warps, which is pretty cool. And I'm almost done with Eterna. Or not Eterna, with Sand Gem, so... And that's Gym 7. That's a very good start. Finding 2 gyms back-to-back is awesome. But unfortunately that means Sand Gem is basically already entirely explored, so we now have to start checking another city. So the one unfortunate thing about... I'm saving real quick just to change my tracker. The one unfortunate thing about having a city that doesn't have much in it, or rather doesn't lead to a bunch of other things, is it makes it hard to backtrack. So thankfully there is a way via Eterna. So if I have a bunch of ways to get to Eterna, then I'll be able to get to Gyms 4 and 7 easily. We're gonna check where this goes. Ooh, this is Hearthome. So this opens up a lot of options as well. I'm not going to go to Eterna yet. I'm going to start exploring Hearthome because it takes a little bit of a while to run back. But yeah, you can kind of pick and choose where you go. and I do a quick check of the save menu to see which center I'm in. Okay, that is useless. Okay, this is not the good side. So, unfortunately, I was hoping for that to be a different part of the Galactic Headquarters where I can get access to a, where I can get access to the Galactic Key, but unfortunately I was on the wrong side of it. So early game is basically just a ton of exploring, seeing what different buildings take you. So just checking as many warps as quickly as you possibly can. Ooh, the bike shop. That's a really nice thing to find early. So unfortunately we can't ride the bike yet. We have to find one more puzzle piece to be able to do that. But we at least know where the shop is, and it's relatively easy to access, so it's definitely a good thing. So we're just methodically going through all of the different warps in Hearthome right now, and then we'll probably make our way back to Eterna. Okay. I needed to just check my guy. I forgot what that gives, but it's nothing important. 222. That'll open up some warps later on, but unfortunately still don't really have an alt main. That is unfortunately not useful. We only have a couple more warps to check here. So there are occasionally items that I go out of my way to grab because money in this game, at least early on, is very restricting because you cannot fight anything. You just do not have the resources to be able to fight trainers, except on, like, Route 1, but you don't really get a whole lot of money from that. So being able to grab items and just sell them whenever you end up finding a mart is the best way to make money early game. And then after a certain point, money doesn't really matter, because you can kind of just front load all the items you need for the rest of the run, and then you can go from there. That's, I believe, blocked by rock climb. And then this is... So this fight with Cyrus, if you win, you're able to get a Master Ball, but we are very much not equipped to be able to do that. Alright, so now we have access to Ilsa. So we have access to 2 different big cities in terms of exploring, so that's really nice to have. And that is Aaron. So now we have an Elite Four member as well. Alright, let's see. I need to double check one warp in the city because I believe I forgot to mark it, or I just didn't check it. Right, this was that item. Okay. Nope. So there are 2 more warps in Hearthome that we unfortunately can't check right now. One of them is blocked by progression, so we need 3 badges, and then the guy that's standing outside of the gym, we need to find Fantina in the contest hall in order to get him to move out of the way. So unfortunately, I can't do anything else in Hearthome, so we'll be making our way back to Eterna. Didn't find a whole lot useful in that city. I'm gonna save again just because I'm in Eterna and I don't have to run all the way back here. I'm really hoping to be able to find my alt main as soon as possible, but haven't found too much luck yet. I'm gonna have to come back to that warp later, because I do not have repels, and I don't have the Mon to get through it, so that one I won't check later. It's a long tunnel, but I am not equipped to be able to do it. So now we'll just be checking through all the different buildings in Eterna, or all the ones that we can. That's a dead end. This may result in my untimely demise, but... Ooh, actually managed to make it over here. Okay. Let's see where this goes. That's Gym 2. That's really, really good, actually. Gym 2 has been... Gyms 1 and 2 have been very problematic in these randos that I've done. So finding Gym 2 early is very nice. Okay, this is the Eterna City Center. So we can now check 2 more warps here. Some of those rocks have a hidden item on them. I forget which ones do and don't, so I just check all of them. This is the warp that I was talking about earlier that I wanted to find. Finding this less than half an hour into the run is very good. So this gives us access to the Galactic Key, which will allow us to check some more warps. And this is actually pretty significant progression, so I'm going to save this. So I'll check the warp that's over here, because I don't want to have to do this as a tunnel. Floral Meadow top side. Well, I'll probably end up resetting. So I'm just gonna quickly check this house to see what this is, and then 216. Okay. I unfortunately cannot check warps there because I don't have a good enough alt main. So I'm going to reset. And this will take me back into the Galactic Headquarters. But I still have the Galactic Key, so I'm going to make my way back to Eterna. The question is, am I going to be able to actually survive making it back to Eterna? That's... No, I don't want 33. Okay, well, because it means look me, I'll throw a Pokeball and see what happens. I do want a Golbat at some point. Okay, well, so my goal was to not get this low of a level for Golbat. But because it looked me, I decided to throw a ball and see what happened. I probably should have nicknamed it, but... Oh, that's okay. Because there are tunnels in an area called Snowpoint Temple, which give you, like, level 50 Golbats, and that level Golbat is generally the alt main for a good chunk of the run. I unfortunately haven't found Snowpoint Temple yet, but I happen to be able to get a Golbat here, and because it got in the ball first try, I'll take it, I guess. only burning one Pokeball there is totally fine. I only need to have a handful of them, because at some point I do want to buy Quick Balls, so having a level 33 is at least nice, but it's not exactly what we're looking for. We are looking for better. We are looking for better. Oh, my mic is blocking the tracker. Alright, gonna check the last couple houses in Eterna. Lower on the town center. Oh, oops. Okay, so I accidentally ran into the void, and that is just an instant reset. I don't know if I saved that Golbat or not. It's fine if I didn't, because I didn't necessarily want to keep it. Okay, I did keep it. Couldn't remember if I did or not. But yeah, so that's one unfortunate thing about the map randomizer, or the warp randomizer, is sometimes if you walk into a, if you walk into a downwards warp, it's going to force you to walk downward, but sometimes that clips you out of bounds. That's a really bad tunnel to find. So ideally we find the other side of it at some point and can mark it as such. And then I think after Eterna, I'll be checking Veilstone next, because I know I can get to that city relatively easily. I don't really have a... Okay, this is what we were looking for. So, this is a Snowpoint Temple Tunnel, like I mentioned earlier, and we can get a, level 50 Golbat, and that will be our alt main for the foreseeable future. You can also find Sneasel here, but it doesn't really help us. Actually, I'm just going to reset, because it probably outspeeds and just kills me. I can also check where this takes us as well. Sure, I'll just take a free tunnel. Well, I guess I'm checking warps now, because I'm here. Oh, that's interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen Salacion Ruins go into itself. This is the Snowpoint Center. There's a lot of options now. This opens up so many choices. It's a dead end. So once I get, I guess, soft locked or need to reset, I'll be able to go catch my, my better Golbat. This opens up so many different choices. That's a really good find. Okay, so it'll be easy to check these warps then. So I'm not gonna check the rest of the warps in the old chateau just now. Getting a rare candy is good for reasons I'll explain later. I guess I can explain them now. For the Alt-Mon, there are a couple of viable options. Your primary options are catching a high-level legendary, specifically Dialga and or Palkia. Your other option is Gyarados. Let's see where this takes us. Also to Jubilife. That's really nice. So I can actually just completely make my way back to Salacia and Ruins and finish checking these orbs as well. I'll save just because I've, at minimum, got fly locations. I probably don't need to save, but doing so just in case. This doesn't super help us. So this is the Volkner trigger that I briefly mentioned earlier. So in Sunny Shore, Flint blocks the gym until you talk to Volkner and kind of get him out of his depression. So then he'll actually want to be able to fight. But we found the other side of that warp. So effectively, it's just no longer a one-way. That's not helpful. Oh, almost just... I'm saving because I got that progression. So 3 gyms, 1 Elite 4. Decent start. Let's see where this takes us. Very useful. So we have one more quick warp to check in Salacian Ruins, and then we'll make our way back to Snow Point Temple to grab our better goal back, because that will be our main for a while. I can check this warp. This is like the last one I can reasonably check. I should probably save, because if I have to reset, I'll have to run all the way back here. There we go. That's what you want to save. So I got reasonably lucky just throwing a Pokeball and catching it. So we'll see if that happens again. I was holding that hope. that was almost good. I want to hold on to at least 2 Pokeballs. So if I don't get it, I will just reset. Because I do not know when the next time I'll be able to get Pokeballs is. Or Quick Balls for that matter. So I want to hold on to at least 2. Especially because I need to use one of them. I guess I don't need to go this way. Yeah, because I have a way to Jubilife. I did not know you could find Jinx here. I guess I've always just found the common Golbat encounter. Will you let me run? Thank you. I do have one more warp that I can check it's in Eternatus, so I'm going to... Okay, well I managed to just make it back, so I will... I'll just quickly check the warp that's over here. Just so I don't have to think about it later. It's not in Eterna, but it's within walking distance of Eterna, which is close enough. Oh, that's money. So not super useful, but... So we'll be trying to get our Golbat now. Now that we have... Now that we've checked basically all the orbs. There's one more that I could check, but it's slightly more... Okay, well now I say it out loud, now I'm gonna go check it. Just in case, you know, you never know. Ugh. Hate getting an encounter there. Alright, this is basically useless to us. But I at least checked the warp. I at least checked it. There are definitely instances where you have to kind of fight this internal battle of, do I want to go check this warp, or do I want to forego it and just check faster things first? It's definitely a huge struggle sometimes. But right now, I'm going to be focusing on getting that Golbat, if I can. Get an encounter. Holy. Yeah. I believe they range from 47 to 50 in this area. Any of them do. You don't need a specific level Golbat, you just need a Golbat that's high level. Beautiful. So I got pretty good luck with getting the Golbat that we want. So we have 3 Pokeballs, which is pretty good. I will be nicknaming this one because this will be our alt main for a while. And I will be moving it to the front. I guess I have 2 Golbats now. But one of them is completely useless now. I can't, I'll hold on to it in my party for now. Now that we're in Jubilife, this helps us a lot. Because this will give us access not only to another big city, but this will also give us access to Pokemon called Abra. And Abra is invaluable to this run being even remotely possible / consistent. Real quick, we're gonna fight our rival Roy. And this is part of the reason why we catch this alt main. Because we have, you know, a level 48 Golbat. Like, we can use literally anything. And it's just gonna be an easy one-shot. And that's going to be the case for basically any of the areas that are considered early game. And even some late game battles it can do decently at. Only unfortunate thing is that air cover isn't 100% accurate, so sometimes we'll just miss and it'll be really inconvenient. But, not too bad. So now that we've beaten Barry, we can run around in this grass and hopefully encounter an Abra. Not enough, but that's okay. And this is the second reason why we catch a Golbat specifically. I'll save real quick just because I did the berry fight, don't have to run back here as well. This is actually, I would say, the primary reason we get Golbat, is because it gets a move called Mean Look. And Mean Look prevents a wild Pokemon from fleeing. Or the opponent from escaping battle, so whether that's fleeing or switching out, something like that. And Mean Look is really important, because Abra only knows the move Teleport. And when Teleport's used in battle, for a wild battle, it just takes you out of it. But Teleport's also a field move, where if you use Teleport, it'll take you to the outside of the last Pokemon Center that you visited, in the interior. So what that means is if I go to, say, the Snow Point Pokemon Center, which I have found, by the way, if I go inside the Snow Point Center, and then use Teleport, it'll take me not to the Snow Point Center inside, but it'll take me to the Snow Point Center outside. And if I walk into the Snow Point Center from the outside, that takes me somewhere completely different. So that gives me access to more and more cities. which is extremely important, because there's sometimes where you just cannot get to a city unless you do this Abra teleport, or it makes it a whole lot easier. So, because I use mean look, teleport fails, which means I can use Pokeballs completely for free. So rather than having to throw a Pokeball once and pray that it works, so like, this failed. So if I just did a standard Pokeball throw and tried to catch it, it would teleport and run away and I have to catch another Abra. But using mean look, it keeps this one Abra in place, and I can throw as many Pokeballs as I need until I get it. So I don't want to use all 3 balls, because, again, I don't know the next time I'll have any. If this fails, that's fine, I just have to reset, and then I'll get another Abra. That was a reset. Also why we save. But Abra is also useful not only for this center warp, we'll call it, which also helps very much with routing, where if you want to go from city A to city B and the only way is, like, either this stupid long route across the entire region of random warps, or you can just do this Abra teleport, much easier. So it's worth going out of your way to catch it. And it also helps you get out of soft locks. So if you, say, get stuck in one of the Elite Four member rooms, rather than having to reset, you can just teleport. So, it's a very valuable Pokemon to have. It's a 15% encounter rate. And I want to say that its catch rate is like 30% or something like that. So, shouldn't be too bad, but so right now, just kind of have to wait until we find it again, hopefully catch it, and then we'll be on our way again. Unfortunately, not getting super lucky here. I did get lucky with the Golbat captures, so, you know, I think I'm due for a little bit of bad luck. Well, once we find it, hopefully we'll be able to get it, and then we can move on with checking some more warps. Jubilee City has a ton of them, so, yeah, let's see, how many can we check, like, immediately? 1, 2, 3, 4... like, roughly, like, 6 warps in Jubilee City proper, and then we can get another 2 going north and east. So we can get 8 warps pretty quickly, and who knows what those lead to. I'm hoping to find, ideally, Gyms 1 and 3 sooner rather than later, because doing them in order. There's our Abra. Let's hope we can get it. Because I have to do the gyms in order, I want to be able to use Fly as soon as possible. Because Fly makes traversing around the map much easier. Not even a shake. That also does require us to find Fly. But I mean, hopefully we find it. Beautiful. We have one more Pokeball. So, that one Pokeball probably won't get used for anything. It'll probably just stay in my bag until... Actually, I feel like I have no reason to use it. The only reason I would use it is if I happen to come across, say, Dialga or Palkia, and I feel like just throwing a Hail Mary ball and hoping for the best. But with Dialga Palkia specifically, you're better off using quick balls if you can get them. This wasn't mentioned earlier, but the reason we want Dialga or Palkia is because Dialga and Palkia are A, both level 70, so that's extremely useful. But B, they have a much, much higher catch rate than any of the other legendaries in this game. So rather than being like a 0.4% in a Pokeball, it's 4%. So this is actually a soft lock, unless you have Aber Teleport. I'm debating whether to... Yeah, I'll teleport, because I can always reset to go back to Jubilife. So because I was in the Snow Point Center last, this teleport is going to take me to Snow Point. And now, like I said, I can check the center, and it's going to lead to... That is really, really good to find. So, this is the department store. This is just a mega hub of a bunch of different warps. So all of these staircases all lead to something different. And the best part is the elevator. The elevator actually takes you to the correct floors. Oh. Oops. Okay, give me 1 sec, I just... Okay, I just completely screwed up my emulator settings. There we go. That was good. There we go. But yeah, so the department store has a bunch of different warps we can check, so... And we'll quickly check through all of those warps. And the other big thing is that the department store allows you to buy basically anything you need. Not everything, but basically everything. One thing that it doesn't have are quick balls, which are pretty useful. That is Fly. That's a really good thing to find early. So it won't matter if we can't find gens 1 and 3, but having the Fly HM at all is very nice, because we don't have to worry about finding it if we happen to get the gems. Okay. No coordinates. The big thing that the department store gives us, because, you know, the fact that it is the department store, we can buy stuff, allows us to buy more Pokeballs, which is nice. Pokeballs specifically aren't super useful, at least at this point, but it's good to have some. So we'll quickly check the rest of the warps here, and then we will try to figure out where we're going next. So because I've saved at this point, I have no way to get back to Jubilife, so I can no longer really check that city. So now I'm kind of stuck having to check Snow Point City and the rest of this. I'm gonna actually start selling some items because I don't need these. So like this, the shiny stone, for example, is completely useless. Dust stone is completely useless. That's just free money. The calcium is completely useless. It's just free money. About 10, right? Yeah. So I have 10 Pokeballs just to have them just in case. I'm gonna buy a bunch of Super Repels. They are the best money per step repel. So I'm trying to be money conscious right now. The escape rope is also useful. I'll buy a couple of those. I don't really have the ability to buy healing items, but I don't really need them. I'm going to quickly pause the timer and take care of a quick thing. So, it'll be right back. So apologies for this not being, a continuous thing, but, duty calls sometimes. I'll be back in maybe 5 minutes. Okay. Alright, we're back. We're gonna play save now, so I'm gonna save again. Okay. Alright, let's check some more warps. That leads to another big hub warp, Salacion Town. A lot of warps we can check there. That is Flint, bottom side. So we'll check the rest of the department store, and then we'll figure it out from there. Probably to Salacion Town, possibly also to Snow Point. It'll all depend on what we see and what we get. So far, not a whole lot useful in the department store, unfortunately. Alright, Pastoria. So that's another bunch of warps we can check. So this will just come down to whatever town we end up deciding to go with. So we can check Snow Point, we can check Salacion, we can check Pastoria. We have a ton of options, so we really have a whole lot of world to explore. Oops. I'll probably check Snow Point City first, because there's not as many warps there. Or, actually, I can always Aber teleport back, so maybe I'll do Salacion first. Actually, I am going to check this warp because I have the ability to. So the Victory Road is honestly a nightmare in this run because you don't have the ability to use HMs really until super late game. So this is one of the few warps I can actually access in Victory Road. So we have another way to Veilstone, which is good. So we have a lot of warps we can check. We have, I believe, like 4 or 5 different cities that we can go to. So really, the world is our oyster right now, and we can just do really whatever we want. But I want to try to eliminate one city at a time. Pokemon League. Don't need this item, I don't know why I grabbed it. Oh, this is a good mark to find, because this one sells Quick Balls. I'm glad I grabbed that zinc. I don't think anything else is worth buying. I'll buy one antidote, I guess. So that's a very, very good thing to find. Because that allows us now to be able to have a very good shot at getting Dialga and Palkia. Because the Quick Balls have a really good multiplier on them for the catch odds. So if we find Dialga Palkia, then we will have our alt main. So this is an interesting area, the resort area. The water that you can see in the top left of the screen, near where that bridge is. If you use a Super Rod, you can fish up Magikarp of a very, very wide range of levels. And by very wide, I mean you can get Magikarp from levels 1 to 100. It's not quite, it's not an even distribution, so it's not like you have a 1 in 100 chance of finding a level 100 Magikarp. It follows sort of a normal distribution, so it's not entirely, but you're more likely to find them within, like, you know, the level 50 range. It's like 40s to 60s are generally more common. Unfortunately, we don't have the Super Rod yet, so we can't really do anything with that, but... I saved recently, I'll commit to this and see what happens. Okay, so I'm on the wrong side. So we need the bike to be able to progress that way. Need to. So the thing with this warp that I'm on right now is that it unfortunately doesn't really get marked on the tracker properly. So I kind of have to use like just a weird color for it. Finish up the rest of Solaceon and then make my way. Probably to a different city. Maybe Pastoria. Maybe Veilstone. Maybe Steel Point. I have a lot of options. Yeah, so right now, we have really most of the major puzzle pieces. We have our Aber for teleport. We have our Golbat as our alt main for now. We have our Quick Balls in case we find Dialga Palkia. we have part of what we need in case we want to go with the Gyarados instead as our alt main. That's Gym 6. That's good to find. Not what I want right now, but still good. Use a super repel just to make my life a little easier. Center. Oh, back to Snow Point. Okay. This is the resort area center, so yeah, we have a lot of different options. This is a good thing to find. So, like the department store, Jubilee TV is also kind of one of these like warp hubs where you can use the elevator to access all the different floors, but everything else is randomized. So. I'm bad at this game. Totally screwed up that pass. Yeah, so this is where Golbat's actually coming into play. This is the level. That's not the right move. Yeah, this is level 43 Murkrow. This would obliterate our Turtwig. But now that we have a Golbat that's, you know, of comparable level, assuming we can hit our moves, that would certainly help. We're able to just knock it out super easily. And Golbat also serves as a fly Pokemon, so if we're able to actually make use of Fly, Golbat is our mon for it, so. And this leads to nothing useful. I can run back, I think. So now I'm going to check the rest of Jubilee TV, because it's another one of those, you know, warp hubs. And then we'll just keep making our way. I saved it in the inside of this building, so if I need to reset, I can. We have so many options. Now that I actually have the quick balls, I'm going to get rid of the extra Golbat that's in my party, because I want to have party space for assuming I find my true main. So many options. It is really hard to pick where to go right now. It's very hard to pick. So, I'll go for... I have 7 different warps I can get in this building. So this is a one-way ledge. What I'm doing is I'm going to save the game because I don't want to commit to this area that I'm in right now. But what I do want to do is I want to check the warps that are here. To see if they are worth continuing from this point. So, like, if I happen to find Gym 1 in this house right here, I definitely would want to keep going. But if it's not, then I'll just reset and I can make my way back. Coordinate exterior. This isn't worth... Cresselia is not a very good mon for this run, so... it's also a roaming Pokemon, so it just makes it really annoying. But we'll check quickly this warp that's up here. Riley also gives you strength, so we can't use it yet, but we at least have the HM. But we're probably not going to save this unless we happen to get a useful warp here. That is completely useless to us. So we do also have the ability to check Cantilever right now because of the boat. So we'll make our way to Cantilever and check the left half of the city. I don't really want to fight the rival right now. So I just need to be careful to not save. But I will gladly quickly check these warps, and then I'll just reset in order to get back to where I was. Nice, that's one house done. 217. I am here. I will check the other house that's on this route. Route 216 and 217 are really annoying to traverse, as you can clearly see, because the snow is really slow. But because I'm pretty close to this house, I will confirm that it is garbage. So this means that I won't have to do the really awful trek through this route. I may need to come back there to get rock climb at some point, but because I'm not sure if I'll be saving this or not. I believe this is a dead end. Nope. Dead end. I'll reset. Because I don't want to have to walk all the way back. So I still have one more warp that I can check in Canalave, but most of it's going to be on the other side of the building, so I'm not gonna... or other side of the city. That's Aaron. I've already found Aaron, so I just found both paths to Aaron. So right now we are currently missing 4 different gyms, 2 Elite Four members, and the champion so far. So we have roughly half of what we need found. Excuse me. I have 3 more warps I can check in this building. That's the wrong floor. Right now it is easiest for me to access Orberg City, so that's probably where I will go next. It's also trivially easy for me to access Pastoria, so that's up for consideration as well. That is Gym 8. Good. That is the other half of Canalave as well, so... That also takes... that takes you to a warp that also isn't marked on the tracker. The reason I instantly reset there is because Stark Mountain is really hard and also really aggravating to progress, so if I get stuck in a battle, then I just immediately reset. So what I'm going to do now is, because I have access to be able to quickly check the rest of Canalave, I'm not going to opt to fight the rival, because I have access to both sides of this, and if I need to traverse it at some point, I will. But I'm just going to check this one house, and this takes me to Veilstone. So, at this point, I could just explore Veilstone, or at least do a little bit, and then maybe reset later. I'm going to grab a Heart Scale. This is in case I opt for the Gyarados route. I want to have Heart Scales to be able to remind Gyarados of certain moves, which make beating the Elite Four trivial. So there's one Heart Scale there. There's another one that I'll be grabbing to the east. Then I also have a warp I can quickly check here. I can also reset the game if I have to. This is worth resetting, I think. Because I don't need to be in this area right now. So if I need to come back for Heart Scales, I will. But I want to finish the proper Canalave exploring. I could also go to Veilstone to explore, and that probably would be better, but if I can finish off a city so I don't have to go back and like confirm warps, then that also is very good. I'm actually going to save here because I know that I'll probably go to Pastoria next. So I don't want to have to backtrack and run. Also, I don't have an air pulse active, I thought I did. So, quickly going to finish up the city, then check Pastoria. And then, who knows where we'll be next. is unfortunately garbage. I'm hoping I can find Gym 1. That would be really nice, because I want to start making progress towards being able to use Fly. And other HMs, for that matter. But unfortunately, it looks like the rest of Candlelight is kind of garbage. Yeah. So I will check Pastoria next. Oh, this is the wrong warp. It's Gym 8. Okay. That is the other half to this Cyrus fight. Which is good because that means I don't have to complete that battle to check that warp. I know that it's just not worth doing unless I have a really good team and want the Master Ball, but I realistically will not need it. I have 3 more warps I can quickly check here. One would require a... What is this high level? Oh, apparently I can find level 49 Graveler here. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll quickly check these warps, and then hopefully... I guess I'll probably go to Veilstone next. I also don't know where my Aber Teleport takes me. That's one of the Lake Trio members. Completely useless, because they're not very good and they're not high enough level to be worth catching. That's a very hard to catch. So, I have a warp that I can check on this route. So I'm going to check it so I don't have to think about it. So I don't have to think about it later. No, I'm not gonna reset. I was debating resetting, but I don't necessarily need to. Alright, let's see where this takes me. I don't remember what center I was in last, so... Orberg. That's actually perfect, because I have a lot of warps I can check here. I'm actually going to commit to doing this, so... And I also have a way to get back to Veilstone if I want to, so... I can check Orberg and Veilstone, which is very good. Because they're 2 pretty big cities. Bertha. That's good. Still looking for Gym 1, though. So right now I want to eliminate, like, the big cities because they have the most warps. There's gonna be a little bit of a cutscene. Yeah, the big cities have a lot of warps, so generally trying to get through those sooner rather than later is better, because in theory, like, the one warp that you didn't check is not going to be the one thing you need. But, I mean, it's always possible. You always can get just a really bad seed, and I've played plenty of those kinds of really bad seeds. But generally checking the big cities first is faster. So you just want to try to blitz through all of those as quickly as you can. We'll quickly grab the heart scale that's here. Just in case I end up saving, I at least have one. Oh, I guess I'm not saving that one. Wow, so I found both sides to 2 Elite Four members instead of finding all of them first. That's unlucky. Oh, this is actually a good thing. So, having the Galactic Key allows us to open these doors. Because we found that so much earlier in the run, that really helps us. Unfortunately, not for that one. I mean, it allows us to check warps, so we don't have to stress over, oh, where could that possibly lead? We could just check it, and then confirm, yeah, it's garbage. Yeah, so that unfortunately wasn't super useful, but we at least got the warps checked and taken care of, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. Darkrai isn't really worth using, but I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. I'll throw a quick ball and we'll see what happens. Just for fun, you know. Like if I find a legendary, like sure, I'll give it a shot. I will give this precisely one attempt. Actually, I have Pokeballs. I'll throw Pokeballs till I die. Why not? If this doesn't work. No, I'll throw precisely one ball because I don't want to like waste time here. I figure now, why not? Okay. Goodbye, Darkrai. So I'll find more warps so we can check in Orberg, and then we'll probably move on to Veilstone after that. Or actually, one of them is blocked by story progression, so we actually cannot check that warp right now. Yeah, I'll do this. So this galactic area is useful for tried to do a spinner pass there, but unfortunately I messed it up. So this galactic area is in Valley Windworks, and when you beat Mars in this fight, it makes grunts that are blocking a route, I believe Route 205. It makes some grunts move away, which allows you to actually walk through that area. So if you have a warp on one side that's useful and that's near like Eterna Forest, and you have one that's in Floroma, you actually can walk through there once you beat this fight. Otherwise, you need to go through some other convoluted route to get there. Unless you, I think the other way you can do it is also through Surf, but Surf requires you to find it and also have all the gym badges. So doing this fight makes things a little more convenient, a little more helpful, so you don't have to think or worry about it. This is also another good use of Golbat, because of its ability Inner Focus. It cannot get flinched, so this Perugly always uses Fake Out on turn 1, which is supposed to guarantee a flinch, but because Golbat can't get flinched, you just skip that extra turn of having to say, oh, I flinched, doing another turn, you just win. So you save a turn there as well, so that's just another reason why Golbat's really nice. So, cleared up that fight. Probably wasn't the it's not the most worthwhile thing in the world, but but it's nice to have. We are looking for far more important things right now, but... We're looking for more important things, but... Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. I'll save because I completed that fight, so I have 3 more warps I can check here, and then I will make my way to Fullstone. Oh, that's unfortunate. So where I just was almost where I want to be, where, that's the, Galactic Eterna building. And if you fight Jupiter, then you'll be able to get access to the bike. Unfortunately, I was in the dead-end area and not the good area, so... Fortunately, I can't fight Jupiter right now, and I will have to do that later. I was using a repel just to skip the trainer, because I don't particularly want to fight them. Fighting trainers is really slow and annoying, so try to avoid it the best I can. This is a interesting one to have, to say the least. Oh, that may actually come in handy later in the run. So where we were was the entrance to Stark Mountain, which I brought up earlier. There are a bunch of warps that are extremely hard and annoying to get to, and we unfortunately don't have the materials to check them. But because I now have the Orberg City, because Orberg City allows me to get there, once I have those items later on in the game, they're much easier warps to check, rather than being a big pain in the butt. Because normally they are a big pain in the butt, and they're like one of the last warps that you try to find. Try to get. So, unfortunately, Orberg was... actually, Orberg's, like, not terrible. Alright, so we'll make our way over to Veilstone now. Funnily enough, through the Orberg Center, we have to obviously go through this, like, you know, convoluted thing to get there. I'll grab the heal while I'm here. That star piece sells for a lot of money, so figure no harm in grabbing it. Oops. Pastoria Center. Gonna check these warps and then I'll make my way back to Veilstone. Valley Lakefront, that's actually a pretty good find. That's unfortunately a one-way. That is just a complete, that is just a complete reset. I could Aber teleport to make my way back, but, I don't really want to do that, because that'll take longer than just doing a quick reset. I'm in the Pastoria Center, yes. Alright, still don't have our like, final endgame Altmon yet. Still missing quite a bit. I'm not immediately recognizing this part of Iron Island. I believe it is a dead end, though. Yes, this is a dead end. So we'll quickly check the rest of these, and then... Not sure where I'll be going next. I still have Veilstone to explore. That's Gym 3. That's a very good find. Unfortunately, not Gym 1. So I still can't really make progress. So, ideally the next thing we find is Gym 1, because then I'll be able to start using Fly. But I have 2, 3, and 4, so as soon as I find one, I can just speedrun getting Fly, which is really good. So, worthwhile find. Not exactly what I want, but definitely a puzzle piece in the right direction. This is good to find. So, if you remember from earlier, in Hearthome, there was a warp blocked by the guy standing outside the gym. And this is where you needed to go in order to get that guy to move. So, Fantina on the top right corner, you need to talk to her, and she'll say, "Oh, thanks for, stopping by, I'll see you in the gym." Obviously, we have already found her gym, but we can't enter the physical building of her gym. We only have the interior, so we still have that work to check. So we do need to talk to her. Do not forget. Let's also access a tunnel, so... Let's check where this takes us. I'm going to save because I got story progression. I have one warp I can quickly check, and then another one that I don't really want to check. Back to Jubilife. That actually is nice, because I never finished exploring Jubilife, so maybe I'll do that while I'm here. Haha, it's Gym 5, which means the only gym we're missing is Gym 1, which is unfortunately a very common occurrence for me doing these kinds of runs, so I can't really make use of any HMs. Which is very unfortunate. Can only really make use of them until, like, once I reach, like, very late game. But I can check the warps in Jubilife, so... Quickly check those, and then... Oh, back to Snow Point. I never... Okay, I kept saying I was gonna do Snow Point, I never did. Fine, I'll do Snow Point. I regret checking Snow Point, because now I have to reset. Oh, so okay, so at this point, I've found both sides of every Elite Four member, except for the one Elite Four member I haven't found. So we are currently missing Jim 1, Lucian, and Cynthia. So hopefully we find the others quickly enough. Gym 1 especially, that's the thing that I would like to find most, because that will allow me to use Fly. And having that ability makes getting everywhere in this map way easier, obviously. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, you know? So, the couple of options I have... Okay, I have a couple of options. I'll check this warp up here. That felt slow. I felt me screwing that up. Oh, well, I have to fight one then. Yeah, generally I try to avoid fighting trainers if I can, because trainer battles are slow, and you only really want to do the ones that are like absolutely mandatory, because otherwise, you know, you're playing faster. But it is okay if you do the occasional fight. At least we have the mods to be able to fight them with ease. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save, because I'm going to go for an Aber teleport to quickly check a couple warps in the survival area, which is the center, which is what this center leads to. Now I need to actually go through here. So I can very quickly check 3 different warps here. And then I'll... I guess making my way to Veilstone. Would be next step. That's a good warp to find, because then I don't have to do the trainer fights. Oh, Poketch Company, okay. So these are the Adamant and Lustrous Orbs, which are basically just super items for Dialga and Palkia, which power up their Dragon and Steel/Water moves respectively. So if we happen to find Dialga Palkia, then we're in a pretty good position. I actually didn't mean to save. Okay, well, this is gonna make things interesting, though. I think I'll be fine. This just is gonna be kind of annoying. Unless this warp takes me somewhere relatively useful. I would like it to, because then that'll make my life easy, but otherwise I made my life a little bit more difficult by saving. Why did I save? It's a fantastic question. Yeah, that's a really bad. Yeah, this makes my life a lot more difficult. Okay, well, if I had to save, then... Okay, so now my plan is I can either go back to Galactic HQ, and fight some trainers there, or I can check there's a couple warps on this route that I can go to. Normally I'd save these warps for later, because they're really slow and difficult to get to, but because I am bad, I'm going to check them now. Also, the mons in this area are higher level than I am, so my repels are unfortunately not going to really do me any good. They also outspeed me, which means I'm just going to be eating damage in the grass constantly. So I'm only going to check one warp here. There are 2 warps on this route. One of them requires you to fight some trainers, the other doesn't. So I'll check the one that doesn't require trainers, because I am not going to make it very far on this route. So my best option right now is actually to go back to Galactic HQ and do a trainer fight that I really didn't want to do, but I am here and I'm going to commit to checking this warp. Even though it is probably not... Actually, no, this isn't worth my time. The grass is going to take far too long and I'm going to take way too much damage. So hopefully that warp doesn't end up mattering, but if it does, then, you know, so be it. So the reason I waited there is because I actually want to force a double battle. Because Golbat's Air Cutter hits both Pokemon in a double battle, so I'm knocking out both trainers at the same time, so if I ever need to go through this passage ever again, I just have both of them knocked out. Those are higher level than I thought, than I remembered. Okay. Alright, this will be interesting. That is not nearly enough damage. Okay, this is... This is gonna be tricky. Yeah, I'm not dealing nearly enough damage, and I do not have healing items. I may actually need to fight them solo. Oh, and of course you're critting me. This is a very tricky situation to be in. I need some favorable luck on my side. Knocking out one of the Golbats is nice. That means I'll take slightly less damage. I don't win this. Wait... Actually, so I just remembered a mechanic. If I die, I'll be taken to the inside of the center. So this will take me to the inside of the survival area center. And then I can get back to Jubilee. All right, I need to have that mechanic like more ingrained into my brain, but that is one way of doing this. I will absolutely take it. Now where am I going? Question is, where am I going now? I'll check this warp. I think this one's easier, but I don't remember. So right now, oh my god, nice crit. So right now, my goal is to make it back to some major city that I have a lot of warps to check, because I'm not getting warps as quickly as I would like to, because I'm kind of getting in these weird situations. So I'm checking this warp because I don't want to have to come back here later. I also have the warps on 222 that I can check. So I can make it back to Pastoria, which actually, yeah, I can get back to Veilstone. So I'll check the warps on this route. Or not this route, I'm checking this warp because this wasn't enabled. I can fight a trainer here. I'm actually not gonna fight that trainer because that's gonna take way too long, and I should prioritize getting warps faster. I'm gonna check the warps that I know I can. One of them, this one, these two actually will require a spinner pass. Oh my god, I forgot the order. It was left there. My mistake. Gym 1, beautiful. Absolutely glad I checked that warp. So, that allows us to get all of the gym badges now, so we have access to any HMs that we end up finding. We will be able to use them at some point or another. There's another reason why we have, you know, an overleveled mod early, because even though I am Am I 4x weak to rock? I don't know. But in any case, I'm at least weak to rock, and I don't do very much damage to it, but because I'm, 35 levels higher, doing plenty of damage, no worries whatsoever. This is a very, very good thing to find. So this will allow me to use Rock Smash out of battle, getting this gym specifically. But unfortunately, I don't really have Rock Smash, so it's not like I can use it even if I wanted to. Alright, so that's Gym 1. So we're only missing Lucian and Cynthia. And we're also missing our Altmon. So, earlier in this, I talked about getting an Altmon early and saying that, a high-level Golbat's really good. And it is. But it isn't good late game. Unfortunately, Golbat kind of falls off after the 5th badge. So it's not super useful past that point. So getting another Mon is much preferable. And this allows us to check another, few warps right back to back, which is really nice. Oh, this is Jupiter. Beautiful. So now we can also use the mic. And this may, become useful later. So we're finding a lot of good things right now. Yeah, because Golbat falls off after the 5th badge, because the 6th is all Steel type, so you're not doing any damage to those. 7th is Ice, so you're weak. 8th is Electric, so you're weak. Golbat isn't super useful past that point, so it's useful for Fly, useful for Mean Look for getting your Abra. And it's useful for, your early to mid-game, where you're dealing with only, level 20s, so it doesn't really matter what move you use. It's just, I'm using Air Cutter because I'm, 25 levels higher than the stun tank. I'm just chilling. So we want to find a different Mon that can actually beat the Elite Four, and specifically solo Cynthia, because Cynthia is obviously a very hard fight with her, high level 50s and even into the 60s. You want something that's going to be able to beat that. And the best things to beat that I've found through my routing and planning are either getting the high level Gyarados from the resort area, assuming you're able to find all the puzzle pieces you need for it, or just stumbling across Dialga Palkia. Palkia is slightly better for this run because of Surf. But you can also run Dialga just as fine as well. So you don't need to catch both of them, but catching both of them is nice. So I do have one more warp I can check here, and because I'm here, I will check it. Assuming I can win this double battle. If I can't, I will come back here later, because I know how to get here. But I still have a few cities that I still have to check, so I'm making very good progress with this run. So we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, and we already have all of our gym badges, or gyms found at least. Let's see the levels. I mean, at least knock out Krogan pretty easily. Double miss. So it's a 5% chance for, I believe, for Air Cutter to miss. So getting a double miss there is pretty abysmal. Stunky takes enough. Krogunk will die. And I'll be able to knock the Stunky out with another Air Cutter. only unfortunate thing about these double battles is that you're giving a bunch of XP to your low-level mons, so they just get a ton of levels, and it's not super worthwhile. I'm really shocked it's attacking me. I don't think that crit mattered, but definitely helpful. They're just more convenient. Oh, a good crit turtwig. The air cutter will kill the Kralgonk assuming it hits. Killing the Stunky is really nice. So we will be able to win this fight. Not too bad. And ideally we will be able to find our alt main as we're making our way to getting these gems. I want to prioritize getting up to at least to Gem 4 because I want to be able to start using Fly. Because it makes traversal very easy. I unfortunately don't really know how I'm going to get there right now, but... So, along the way, I will be checking warps, because I still need to find more things. Once I find everything I need, I will not be checking any more warps, because there's zero reason to. So unfortunately, that was completely useless, but that's okay. Because we now make our way back. Okay, sure. I just kind of YOLO'd that. I'm glad I got it. Alright, so now I'm checking my tracker to see how exactly I want to get to... So I have no idea. So I unfortunately have basically no idea how I'm making it to, I don't know how I'm gonna make it to the second gym. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go to Veilstone and check those warps. And hopefully I'll find a convenient way to get back. This... no, I actually do have a... Do I have a convenient way to get there? Yes, I do. Okay, I know how I'm getting to Gym 2. This requires the bike, so cannot do that yet. The main thing I needed was a way to Heart Home, which will allow me to get to Gym 2. Still do not have my endgame on, which is unfortunate. That's one of the key things I need, obviously, in addition to Lucian and Cynthia. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more warps in Veilstone to check. I'm glad I actually found Fly. Because if I didn't have Fly, then it wouldn't necessarily be worth it for me to go out of my way to do the gems early. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a whole lot of these are very useful, but that's okay. Or at least eliminating these options, so you do not have to consider them later. Alright, well, that's Cynthia. So we are missing, right now we are just missing Lucian and our endgame mon. That's all we need. And Lucian has 2 warps. So you can take either warp to get to Lucian, because he has a top side and a bottom side. So either one will work. Doesn't matter which one you find. This is the last Veilstone warp we have to check, and then I guess I could go for... Yeah, I guess I could go for Gym 2 now. Although I have 4 different warps and 4 on I need to check, so... And I have a quick way to get there, so I think I'll do that. Actually, possibly up to 7, depending on how much I really want to do. Gym 2 is just unfortunately really out of the way for me. Sunny Shore is also a good find, because that's another major city that we don't really have explored really at all. So... And that warp that I just found is a very annoying warp to do. Because if you come from the other side of 209, getting there is really annoying, because you have to fight a couple trainers if you get hit by spinners, and the spinners are really annoying to fight because they have a ton of mons. So they're extremely slow to fight. I just had to clear out my recycle bin to make sure I had space for everything. There's space to record this video. Anyway, I can also go get the bike. That would be really helpful, because then I can move way faster. Oh, the bike is in Hearthome. Okay, yeah, I really need to go to Hearthome then. So I'll check these last 2 warps in Sunnyshore, and then I will commit to going for Gym 2 as well as the bike, because apparently they're in like right the same spot. This I do need to do at some point. So this is something I mentioned earlier about the front of the gym in Orberg is blocked by this event trigger. So even though I have basically all of the warps that I need, I still need to keep checking them because I don't have Lucian and I don't have my alt main. So I do want to trigger that and commit to grabbing it. Oops. Alright, well I found every single Reggie. Does not help me though. Grab the bike real quick, and I also have the warp that was blocked by in front of the gym, so I can check that warp now as well, and then I can make my way over to Eterna for the gym. I need to actually confirm the gym location. That's options. Okay, I see my route. Apparently I never checked this, so... Oh, this is because I didn't have the high enough level Pokemon, and I didn't have Repel, so... It's a relatively easy tunnel to check. Oh, and that's the other half of the... Yeah, this is it's like a second give of cup for whatever reason. I don't know why that happens. Also, you have to accept the egg for whatever reason. I believe that may be a map random thing where it forces it upon you, but that's another reason you didn't have a party slot open. I'll just do a gem. Oops. Alright, so we can start chipping away at getting the gyms completed, which is good. Already at 2 hours for having basically everything we need is very good. Still have a long ways to go before the run is done, but making very, very good progress. Very, very good progress. Alright, well, while that's turning, I'm gonna grab my first. Oh, wow, good. Alright. Gym 3 is going to be a little tricky to get back to, but it shouldn't be too terrible. I'll need to see what my Abra teleport is as well, because that may or may not make things more helpful. So not really a whole lot going on here. We just kind of have to get through the gym as quickly as reasonably possible. Thankfully, Golbat's pretty convenient here as well, being a flying and poison type. So 2 types super effective against grass makes things definitely very easy. And we're also starting to make a little bit more money, so we'll be able to, whenever we make our way back to the department store, we'll be able to buy more things, primarily X items. To make the final battle against Cynthia a little bit easier. And also healing items to have a little bit more safety. Alright, shortly enough, that'll be Gym 2. And then we'll be able to make our way eventually to Gym 3. So now we're able to use Cut outside of battle, which actually gives us another warp that we can check in Eterna. So we'll quickly check the warp in Turna. And then we'll be on our way. Oops. So teaching cut to Turtwig, because Turtwig is essentially just our HM friend for this run. We will save. So still looking for Lucian, still looking for main. Pastoral left, that is. We can check a few different warps here. We can check this one, which is Lucian. So, with that, we have every single warp that we need to complete the game. However, we do not have a Mon that's strong enough to do it, because Golbat is not good enough to solo the game. So, what that means is we have some work to do. So, we still need to check warps, because we do not have something that is strong enough yet. I don't know why I'm running around. I have this. So we still don't have a way really to the fight area, which is where we get the Super Rod, which allows us to catch the Gyarados, so we're still missing that option. We also still have yet to find Dialga and Palkia. So this is actually the first time that I've had a run where I haven't had my endgame Mon before having found all the warps. Like, having all the warps before having my endgame Mon has never happened to me before, so this is an interesting situation. So it's going to be interesting to continue exploring and to figure out where to go next and what I want to do, because really I just need to find the warp. I need to find the warp that gives me my endgame setup. It's actually the warp I was going to check next, so... And I've yet to save the game, so I will be resetting at some point to get me back to somewhere a little more favorable. I'm quickly teleporting to Jubilife because I have a couple warps I can check now. Now that I have the first badge, I'm able to go left of the trainer school because this NPC blocks you if you don't have the first badge. So I can check these warps. And then I will probably end up resetting the game after that. Unfortunately, those are both garbage. The question is how... Actually, I can get to Gym 3 like this. So I will do Gym 3 now because it kind of just worked out that way. So I'm trying to strike a balance between making meaningful progress, like by getting gym badges, etc., and also checking warps, because I still need to do both. It's a square. Let me buy. These trainers are annoying in this gym. At least you only have one mon. Oh, nice miss. God, I'm hitting this confusion. Oh, that's just... Oh my god. Oh my god, let me win! It's Psybeam! Oh my god, that was so awful. That one miss just cost me like 2/3 of my health. It's awesome. Yeah, once I'm able to use fly, that'll really help things. So I think I actually should prioritize being able to fly. Having the symbol there early is really convenient. I just need to remember what the sun is. Beautiful. Well, I had to fight one trainer. The rest of it was pretty fast. And I will be able to make my way to... Actually, I can make my way to Gym 4 relatively easily, which is good. Because Gym 4 was one of, like, the first gyms I found. It's via Sand Gem, and because I'm in Jubilife right now, or can get to Jubilife basically instantly, I can go grab Gym 4 real quick, and then I'll be able to start using Fly, which is very good. I should be a little bit weary of my health. I will actually take this opportunity to heal. Because I'm very low. Good. Beautiful crit. Good way to end off that gym. So beating this gym allows us to be able to use defog outside of battle. That doesn't really help us though. So it doesn't really count as all that much meaningful progress, except for the fact that we're now able to just go right to Gym 4. So that's what I'll be doing next. And then I can start flying around and make some good moves. Oh, and I can actually feel my Pokemon right here. And I will also deposit the egg while I'm here because I do not need it. And I don't want it to hatch because it's just annoying. And I want to say that my teleport hub is still to Jubilife, so I will be making use of that. And now I can just walk my way down to Sand Gem. Beautiful. We will get a cutscene. Oh, we won't? Huh. Oh, there's a cutscene there. Alright, well, that works. Being able to use Fly at this stage is very, very, very good. Fortunately, I have quite a bit of a long gym here. Ideally, I only have to fight one trainer. That is the one trainer that I do have to fight. So I really actually don't know where I want to go next now that I have Fly. I don't remember which cities I have that are not super well explored, so I need to start looking around to see what is what is meaningful. Got to do that. Oops. Yeah, that was a beautiful Gym 4. So being able to fly is very, very, very good. It really opens up the map. Car is a little bit more difficult to kill because it's fighting and steel. So it's only super effective against one type. Alright, so she's gonna go for a heal here. What? I'm shocked she didn't heal there, but okay. Sure, I'll take it. Easy money. And because I have the Abra now, Mean Look is no longer required for anything, so we could just teach Fly right over that, and we can start making our way around. could grab Gym 5 if I wanted to, but I don't really want to do that right now. Fly is the most important HM to have, to be able to use. Oops. Oh, right, I need to teach it. One helpful thing that the Warp Randomizer does is it allows you to fly indoors, so it's just a little bit more convenient that way. So we have everything found except Celestic Town and Fight Area. Or we have the ability to fly everywhere. That's not Veilstone. Why did I fly here? What a brain fart. I want to go there. Okay. I still haven't fully explored Snowpoint. Oops. Doing this to grab strength real quick because I may need it later in the run. It's also just a pretty solid move in general, so... Flying back to Canalave to check a warp that I had apparently missed earlier. Saving now that I have the 4th badge and strength. And then once I check this, I will end up flying to Snowpoint to grab 2 warps, and then... Not sure where I'll go next. I keep accidentally resizing my emulator. Stark Mountain again. I have the gym in front of Orberg I can check. I also have a warp back in Hearthome, the one that required me to have a few badges. So I have a couple options. Oh. Apparently old people do not have very good vision in this game. That's funny. I'll just do this double battle. I still have a couple hubs that I have to check, so I'll probably start checking those. After I check this one, obviously. Oh, goodness! Thank you, Defog. Or, thank you, Fog. Oh. Just hit, dude! I hate Fog. It's so dumb. Thank you. Alright, now I will be going to another hub. This was a hub that I found earlier in the run that I didn't check because I knew it was easy to get back here. And I didn't really have I wasn't able to focus on it at the time, but now I can. I'm honestly just trying to find a way to, like, honestly to the fight area, because there's a, well, so the problem that I have right now is whatever route I want to do for my endgame requires me to find, like, a warp where there's only one. Like, there's no other way to get to that certain location, so... So, that cutscene right there, if you save after that point, you trigger something called Elite Four Round 2, where the first time you do the Elite Four, it's, you know, it's relatively simple. Where, although I do want to have the Pokemon League as a fly point. Also, I don't know if I've saved recently, so I'm gonna do that. But you trigger something what's known as Elite Four Round 2, where you have all the Elite Four members have like way stronger Pokemon, like 20 levels higher, all of them just instantly, and way better moves, etc. Way stronger. This run is hard enough with the run is hard enough, let alone doing Elite Four Round 2. So you want to, like, not trigger that at all costs. not. I'm going through this process, and part of me is thinking if Golbat is even usable as a endgame mon. Like, can Golbat solo the champion? Or, like, really the whole Elite Four? Part of me wonders. If it is possible, I believe it would be extremely hard, and I could try doing that, but I also have never done it, so I'm not gonna try to do something new for something that is, you know, this difficult. That is a good thing to find. Because that's an entire town that I have yet to explore. This also gives me another fly warp, or fly point. Beautiful. Alright, this is Dialga Palkia. So this is where our alt main is. So, this is the reason why we got Quick Balls. Because with Quick Balls, catching these two is actually somewhat reasonable. So, catching Dialga / Palkia in a Quick Ball is a 17% chance. Fortunately, did not get it that time, but we're now going to be sitting here until we get it. Because these two make for a very dynamic duo. They will carry us the whole rest of the way. I'm grabbing Palkia first because, like I mentioned earlier, Palkia is slightly better for this round. Dialga is also good, but you only really need one. We will be doing this until we get it. Beautiful. So there's one down, and we'll go for Dialga as well because we can. And we already have everything else we need to beat the game, so I'm gonna save because we just got Palkia. So at this point, it is just a matter of flying to all the gyms that we need and doing them as quickly as we can, doing the Elite Four, and then wrapping this thing up. Oh, imagine though, that was so close. Good try though. Beautiful. Alright. We're at a point where we can just kind of solo the rest of the game with these two. Because we never ended up finding Surf, we won't be able to use Surf with our Palkia. However, we do get a Water TM from Crasher Week's gym, so we'll be able to do it just fine. We'll be able to make use of Brine, which isn't as good, but it is Water Stab, or same type attack bonus, which gives you just a slight multiplier to your moves. If, say, you're a water type and you use a water type move, then you do more damage. Fortunately, we have to fight all the trainers in this gym. Unfortunately, the rest of the gyms are pretty slow. This water one, you have to fight a decent number of trainers. Gym 6 is notorious for how long it is. There's only one trainer you can skip. Also, I should be using Palkia at this point. I don't know why I'm still using Golbat. I also completely forgot to nickname Dialga Palkia, but that's fine. Oops. Oh, oops. So the main things at this point are really just we're here to solo the rest of the game, so... Oh, of course it uses quick attack. So, yeah, having level 70 legendary to get through the rest of the game is obviously very, very useful. And we'll be doing a couple things later on to make our life slightly easier for the Cynthia fight. Because even with a level 70 legendary, it can still be a little bit difficult. Things can go wrong, and they will go wrong. So we'll be sure to stop by. I almost just cost myself a ton of time. We'll be sure to stop by the department store to grab some X items, which will make that fight just a little bit easier. Because we have the money to burn at this point. We have nothing else that we need to spend it on. We have nothing else we need to find. It is just a matter of go, go, go mode. And get to the end of the game. This seed went very well, all things considered. Definitely some things that weren't super good, but a lot of it went very well, and I got decent luck all around. After Crasher Wake, we'll be making our way over to Gym 6, which is definitely the worst one. And we will have a convenient opportunity to make our way to the department store as well, because of where Gym 6 is located. So we'll be sure to stop by there real quick and pick up some useful items. So Wake gives us Brine, and Brine is a decent water move. It doubles in its power if the target has less than half their health, which is good if you're able to, break that threshold. I should probably heal. Oh, I can heal in the Sunny Shore Center. And we should not need any more items for the rest of the run. Which is pretty good. Oh, I went to the wrong one. Oh my god, I'm just navigating entirely wrong because I'm dumb. Alright, this is the one trainer we can skip in this gym. Yay. Yeah, unfortunately this gym's not super interesting. It's just a matter of running through it, killing the mons, yada yada, and I'll get through it eventually, but it's a little tedious because there's so many trainers. There's 1, 2, 3. There's like 6 trainers in here or something. Like 5 of them are required. It's just this is not a very fun gym. But we gotta do it. Gotta do it. Thankfully, Gym 7 will be a nice break because you can skip all the trainers in it. Alright, time for Byron. But we are making very, very, very good work with this seed. Very quick work. Beautiful. Alright, 6 batches, 2 to go, and then it's the Elite Four. And there we are in Gym 7. Shocked that lived. Oh, yeah, nice crit. That was super helpful. Thank you, Palkia. The one unfortunate thing about this fight is because Abomasnow sets up Hail with its ability Snow Warning. Whenever Frostlass comes out, Frostlass has the ability Snow Cloak, which makes it just, like, it makes it more likely to be able to dodge moves. So thankfully I didn't have to deal with that. But if I had missed, I could have gotten stuck and had to deal with some annoyance. But thankfully, it was a pretty easy gym fight, and we'll be on our merry way to Gym 8. Unfortunately, Gym 8 also takes a little bit of a while. But thankfully, all the Elite Four members are pretty quick, because it's just, you just kind of go to their abode, and you just are in the clear. gonna say hi to Mom, to have her heal our Mons, so we will have more PP for the gym fight. Oh my god, there we go. That was pretty bad. I forget that this school kid has a hyper potion for whatever reason. Oh my god. That's not what I was gonna refer to. Okay, so one very annoying thing about this gym. Oh my god. I'm gonna die! My god. Fine, I'll use my one full restore, like, immediately, because I'm parafusion getting absolutely decimated by an electric squirrel. Oh my god. One very annoying thing about this gym is that a lot of the mons have the ability static, which, it's a 30% chance to make you paralyzed if you use a contact move. So, there are times where I'm gonna have to use Slash just because I need to save PP. And so I just have a chance of getting paralyzed, like, constantly. And paralysis is really annoying because it makes you way slower, and also makes it so you just have the chance to just not attack. And that is extremely annoying to deal with. So hopefully we don't get staticked, but we'll see what happens. There are two trainers you can skip in this gym. One of them is absolutely, you should try to skip it under all costs. Oh, oops. It's that Pikachu up there. That's actually a trainer. You want to skip that trainer at all costs because they have 4 mons. And it takes forever to get through, so... I also want to save my Earth powers for the gym leader himself, Wilker, because his mons are obviously stronger than the generic trainers. So, I want to hold on to as many of those as possible. So I'm trying to use other moves in between to compensate. Actually, because I haven't saved in a while, I'm gonna save, and this will also provide me an opportunity to reset if I screw up this spinner pass. Beautiful. The trainer that I was next to on the right, that is the other trainer you can skip. You have to go by him a couple times, so if I hit him, it's not really the end of the world, and it's also kind of expected. Ideally, we only have a couple more trainers to fight here, and then we will be on our way to the Elite Four. Ideally, this is the last trainer we fight before the gym leader. If not, that's fine. It'll just take a little bit longer for us to get there. The important thing is that we skipped the trainer that had 4 Mons. So, we're saving our PP, and we are saving time. I really should have nicknamed the Poké, I just completely forgot to, but it's fine. I don't know why I took a step there. I just brain farted. That's okay. Yeah, thankfully this guy only has 1 Raichu, so it's not really the end of the world if you run into him. It's just kind of like a oops. Alright, so now we are on our way to fighting the Elite Four and Champion. Need to confirm warp. So we only have 5 more trainers to go before this thing is done. Using an X special to ensure moves do a little bit more damage. That's primarily for Brine, because Brine does not have very high power. So we have the boost of the Lustrous Orb, we have the +1 to our special attack as the X item, we have our same type attack bonus, so thankfully it looks to be just enough to be able to knock out Aaron. Because we are pretty low on PP, we will be healing to get that back. Oops. Alright, beautiful Aaron fight. Very, very good. So thankfully, because of how these warps are, we can very quickly get to a bunch of different Elite Four members. Orber gives us quick access to, like, 3 of them. Beautiful. And we should not have to use any X items for either Bertha or Flint because they are ground and fire respectively, and we have Brine for basically all of Bertha's Pokemon, and we can use Brine or Earth Power for all of Flint, so we won't have to go back for a heal basically until Cynthia, which is really convenient because we can just kind of sweep through everything as quickly as possible. Saving a couple of Brines because I don't want to get rid of all of them. Oh, I just realized it's 10, not 5. I don't know why I thought it was 5, but holding on to some of them so we have them for Flint, so we have a mix depending on his Pokemon. And if we're able to hold on to enough, we'll be able to also use them for Lucian. So, making very, very quick work. It's really cool how, like, all these different Elite Four members are just, like, right here concentrated in the same spot. So making our way very, very quickly through this Elite Four. This has been an excellent seed with excellent luck all around. This went very, very well. Almost to Cynthia. Got one more Mon, one more trainer, and we are almost done with this run. We actually may not even need a heal before Cynthia. We are very good on PP. So unfortunately, Mr. Mime using light screen ups their team's special defense, which is really inconvenient because all of my moves are special. So we that's why we used an X special there. Also because Lucian was healing that turn. So we just now have a +1 to our special attack to make this a little bit easier. To help manage the difficulty that is dealing with light screen with this Elite Four member. Alright, and the light screen is worn off, so we are basically good to go for the rest of it. Why did I use Slash there? I'm not very smart. So I'm going back to heal real quick. I'll then be flying to Floroma Town to beat Cynthia, and we will be done with this run. So this was, again, a very good run overall. case things go horribly, horribly wrong, saving before Cynthia. This should be fine. So I'm starting off with X Special Defense so that Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse do a little bit less damage. So I have the ability to just freely set up on the Spiritomb. We're gonna use a bunch of X Specials just to ensure that everything kills. Things can go very wrong if you don't kill her Milotic. Because it can use Mirror Coat, and that will one-shot you if you do not kill it. So we're going to make sure that we are as high of a special attack as possible. I'm going to interrupt real quick to get in a heal, just to avoid dying to a crit. Because critical hits hit through your defense raises. They ignore basically any positive bonuses you have, or beneficial things for you. I'm going to use an X accuracy to ensure that Spatial Rend always hits. That's defense drop is completely fine. I'm going to use some speeds just in case. I'm pretty sure I outspeed everything, but I will use one just to be sure. And we will start the sweep. Didn't even need to catch DL, okay. Well, let's hope I don't need those words though, but should be in the clear at this point. We want this Milotic to die in one hit. This is the one that really matters. Excellent. I do not believe that crit mattered, but if it did, I'm glad I got it. So we are in the clear for beating Cynthia at this point. It is just a matter of picking the right moves and we are done. That was really fast. That was a really fast run. Also, Spatial Rend does have a higher crit ratio than other moves, so it's slightly more likely to crit. But still lucky to get, nonetheless. Alright, now it's Rose Raid, and that is gonna be almost it. I cannot believe how good that run was. Cannot believe how good that was. And time's coming up shortly then. I could not believe how good that was. Holy. I'm at a loss for words for how good of a run that was. That is ridiculous. That is genuinely wild. I cannot believe that. God, I wish I didn't have the pause at the very, like, I was like 50 minutes in and I had to pause to go do something, but besides, I mean, like, then again, this is my own category, it's not a real thing, so like, who fucking cares? Like, it's a 341.33, like, that's what it is. Dude, that's so wild. Oh my god. That's crazy. Alright, well, that's, I guess, it for me, then. Yeah, and this was intended to be, like, a marathon submission video, and I just got, like, a crazy good run for that, but... Yeah, so if this were for a marathon, I probably wouldn't go that well, but... It's a fairly flexible category, so, you know, could call it like a 5-hour estimate, and if it was done as a co-op, probably another hour or plus less than that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you consider it.